Next, we'd like to honor PMP's longtime business columnist and industry marketing guru, Harvey Goldglantz. You know, I met Harvey the first year that I came to Pest Control magazine back then, and you know, I had lost my father when I was 23, and someone saw fit that you know, filled that void with what I call my three Jewish wise men. It was Norm Cooper, Austin Frischman, and Harvey Goldglantz. So it's so nice to see you join the fold. Harvey's been in the industry since he was a teenager, although he almost left it for a life in show business. You'll see what I mean in a moment. Let's take a look at Harvey's dynamic career.
Harvey Goldglantz got his start in the pest control industry at the age of 15 and has worked tirelessly to advance its professionalism ever since. He was just a teenager when he entered the business in 1963, working in nearly every capacity for a cousin's company in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Goldglantz took the job to pay the bills and support himself and his younger brother after his mother and father died. Fortunately, Goldglantz excelled at sales, particularly cold calls. He was even better at marketing pest control services, a skill that helped shape his career. After about a year of pest control work, Goldglantz took a chance on a daring idea he thought would increase business. He enlisted the help of neighborhood block captains who organized street cleaning events, and it worked. A week later, he left his cousin's company to launch Philadelphia Exterminating Co. Just 2 weeks later, he was so successful that he had to hire 7 people to work for him part-time. He used his earnings to put himself through college, graduating cum laude with a communications and marketing degree from Temple University in 1971. By then, Goldglantz was considering other career options while still running his successful pest control business. These included marketing and show business. He had landed a recording contract when he was a teenager, performed in off-Broadway shows, and even tried out for a spot on NBC's Saturday Night Live program. But, as Goldglantz told PMP magazine for his profile, "My pest control business was doing so well that eventually I decided I might as well stay in the business. I was doing too many things and I had to stay focused." Also of great concern at that point was his fiancée Gail, who was diagnosed with end-stage renal disease 1 week before their wedding day in 1971. They decided to marry anyway and enjoy the time they were given. A marriage that some doctors said would survive months lasted decades. Gail passed away a day before their 40th anniversary in 2011. In the early 1980s, while running a successful pest management business in Elkins Park, Pennsylvania, Goldglantz became involved with the then Pennsylvania Pest Control Association, now known as the Pennsylvania Pest Management Association. He was elected president of the Pennsylvania Pest Management Association twice, served on and chaired most of its committees, and was editor and publisher of its newsletter for more than 15 years. Within a short time, his work with the Pennsylvania Pest Management Association led to speaking engagements with the then National Pest Control Association, now known as the National Pest Management Association. By 1992, he launched his consulting career, simply in response to his peers asking for his business card after every presentation, wanting more marketing and business operations insight. Since selling his pest control company in 2005, Goldglantz has focused on his consulting business, Pest Control Marketing Company in Warminster, Pennsylvania, where he lives with his wife, Roberta. Goldglantz provides advice on sales, marketing, advertising, technical and customer service, operations, and human resources. Many clients rely on his years of expertise to increase sales or expand. Goldglantz is a 2015 Pennsylvania Pest Management Association Pioneer Award recipient, author of Marketing Matters, which was published in 2008 by PMP, and renowned speaker at industry events such as PestWorld and the New York Pest Expo. Goldglantz says, "It gives me a great deal of satisfaction to help my clients build their businesses. I knew from very early on that my love was pest control consulting. And having been there, done that, it's much easier to mentor leaders and help grow professional pest management one business at a time."
I had an idea to start this off with a joke. I told my wife, Roberta, I think what I'm going to do is go to Staples and buy some dot matrix paper for an old printer or computer, and then start off by saying I have a few words to say, and then roll out the dot matrix paper. When I found out it was $70 a box, I figured it was not a good investment. Anyway, I am both humbled and honored to accept this recognition for my life's work this evening. To be in this year's company of such esteemed inductees, such as Tom Forston, Dr. Sissy Spreggins, Dr. Nanyo Su, the late Dr. Robert Snetzinger, and so many renowned present recipients, again, is so humbling. And I actually had written down a number of names, but there's so many that are here, I don't want to offend anyone who is here that I may not have mentioned, so I want to honor all of you. Many of the recipients on this illustrious list, I am proud to say, have become my dear friends throughout these years. Starting out as a very young boy in the pest control industry, around 1963 actually, and owning my own company by the time I was 16, it became very clear to me, even at that early age, that this was an industry that presented great potential and opportunity. By the time I graduated college in 1971 with a degree in marketing, I had incorporated Philadelphia Exterminating Company and hired a manager to run the day-to-day operations while simultaneously pursuing adjacent careers in both marketing and business. Within a few years, as my pest control company continued to grow, I came to realize that the pest control industry presented to me the clearest pathway to both personal growth and success for my future goals and dreams. And so, I dedicated the rest of my life to this great industry. Early on in my career, I realized that it was important for me to be able to stand out from the crowd and from the rest of my competitors. And so I embarked on a quest to differentiate my company from the rest of the pack. My time in college studying marketing and business reinforced this strategy. Focusing on delivering value, not price, being unique, and environmentally responsible were the foundations upon which my company was built. As I broadened my background and became active in both the Pennsylvania Pest Control Association, as it was known then, and the National Pest Control Association, and as I transitioned into the consulting business, I took this philosophy along with me. When I first joined the Pennsylvania Pest Control Association in the early 1980s, I immediately became active in a number of committees. And over the years, I had served on and eventually chaired just about every committee, including 2.5 terms, 5 years, serving as president of the Pennsylvania Pest Management Association, and 15 years as editor and publisher of the state newsletter. In the early 1980s, as I became active with my state association and then with the National Pest Control Association, ultimately serving 3 terms on the board of directors of NPMA, it became obvious to me there was a great void in the industry in the areas of professional marketing, business education, and non-technical training. And so I embarked on a complementary career as a business and marketing consultant, speaker, author, and columnist, while still overseeing my pest control business. After selling my pest control company to one of my consulting clients, I became a full-time consultant, continuing to dedicate my life to helping other companies and serving my state and national associations and the industry, which has given me so very much. Before I close out my comments this evening, I want to thank some very special people who have been by my side on this journey. First and foremost, my dear friend and colleague, Marty Whitford, publisher and editorial director of Pest Management Professional Magazine. Diane Sofranek, the managing editor, and Heather Gooch, the editor. I want to thank them from the bottom of my heart for all of their help and support with the editing of my columns and book over the past 20 years. I would also like to recognize this evening some very special people and dear friends in my life who have come here this evening to help celebrate this great honor with me. First and foremost, my lovely wife, Roberta, who keeps me grounded and focused and who makes me smile every day. From Slugabug Pest Control in Melbourne, Florida, my very dearest friends, Steve and Jackie Lum. Steve, who is the Chief Executive Officer and the President of Slugabug in Melbourne, Florida, and the current President of the Florida Pest Management Association. Thank you for being here, Steve. And Jackie. Steve is one of the most talented CEOs that I have ever had the privilege of working with. Also from Slugabug, Michael and Mark Scott. Michael is the gifted Chief Financial Officer and Vice President of Slugabug, and both Michael and Mark are also very dear friends. Finally, from Slugabug, Elliot Zase, who is the company's talented general manager and who has also become a friend. Now, are you happy, Elliot? I called you a friend? Okay. Okay. I would also like to acknowledge Harry and Colleen Ross of Ross Environmental Services in Franklinville, New Jersey. Harry is the accomplished president of the company and the current president of the New Jersey Pest Management Association, and Colleen works in the business with Harry every day, and I'm honored to call them both my friends. Finally, I want to give thanks and tribute to someone who is not here this evening, my late wife, Gail, who passed away 7 years ago this month, and who was by my side for 40 years, supporting me, encouraging me, and pushing me to always pursue my dreams. In closing, I once again want to thank PMP Magazine for bestowing this great honor upon me. Thank you very much.